Hello, everyone. My name is Meghan Martini, and today I'll be exploring why people believe in conspiracy theories. The purpose of my presentation is to explain why people are drawn to conspiracy theories and how these beliefs shape trust in science, experts, and social institutions. This topic connects to our course because conspiracy theories relate to how humans evolved to detect threats and look for patterns, and they also give people a sense of meaning or explanation in the same way that superstitions and spiritual beliefs do. In a sense, it helps people make sense of uncertainty. The research questions I will be addressing here are what psychological, biological, and social factors make people more likely to believe in conspiracy theories, and how do these beliefs affect trust in experts and institutions? Here is the overview of everything I will walk through and explain in this presentation. So, conspiracy theories can be defined as beliefs that major events are secretly controlled by powerful groups, even when there is little or no evidence to support those claims. These ideas often appear during times of uncertainty, fear, or confusion. And when people don't have clear answers, the mind naturally searches for patterns and hidden meaning, which can make conspiracy theories feel comforting or more believable. In today's modern world, a lot of us are currently experiencing cognitive overload, and there are many reasons for that. The world is changing fast, and we are trying to hoard as much information as possible to understand what is going on around us. In essence, there is a lot more to think about and a lot more information to process on a daily basis. The problem is not everything necessarily has an answer or an explanation that makes sense to us. This fuels uncertainty, and uncertainty fuels anxiety. Our brains naturally hate uncertainty, and that makes a lot of sense from an evolutionary perspective. When you think about the conditions in which our species started, the more information that you had, the more likely you were to survive. The weird noise in the bushes or the new food that you never tried before, all those things could be lethal. And obviously, this overactive threat detection was very useful out in the wild, but not as much in our modern environment. Research has shown that our brains are wired to detect hidden intentions or agency, which helped early humans avoid danger, but now makes us vulnerable to false beliefs about secret control. We try to get an answer as quickly as possible, which means we sometimes go for the more obvious one, rather than waiting for the actual answer or trusting the actual facts. Our brains are biologically wired to seek patterns and avoid threats, and when we're stressed or afraid, our brains can misfire, seeing patterns or answers where none exist. The amygdala is responsible for detecting danger, emotional intensity, and anything that feels threatening or uncertain. When people encounter situations of confusion or uncertainty, such as pandemics, political unrest, rapid change, etc., the amygdala heightens the fight or flight response. So essentially, a more reactive amygdala increases the feeling that something is wrong or hidden, creating the emotional spark that conspiracy beliefs are built on. The prefrontal cortex is involved in logical reasoning, evaluating information and evidence, critical thinking, and emotional regulation. When the prefrontal cortex is overloaded by stress, emotional signals from the amygdala are less controlled. This can reduce somebody's ability to evaluate information critically, increasing reliance on intuition, suspicion, and gut feelings. The prefrontal cortex is also responsible for updating beliefs when new evidence comes in, a process that tends to be weaker in people who hold rigid conspiracy like views and beliefs. And lastly, the anterior cingulate cortex detects conflict in information. It signals when something doesn't add up. So, if someone has a low tolerance for uncertainty, the ACC generates a strong feeling of discomfort. Conspiracy beliefs can reduce this discomfort by providing simple explanations for what we are experiencing. Additionally, dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to reward, also found in the prefrontal cortex, reinforces the satisfaction we feel when we find evidence that confirms our suspicions. This can make conspiracy thinking feel addictive because each new piece of information feels like we're uncovering hidden truth. Psychology also plays a huge role in why people turn to conspiracy theories. While the neurological side focuses on what the brain is doing, the psychological side focuses more on our thoughts, motivations, and behaviors. It's not necessarily that people who believe in conspiracy theories are crazy or unintelligent. It's more about trying to make sense of something or gain a sense of control over a situation that is making us feel uncertain, unsafe, or powerless. Conspiracy theories can provide that quick sense of clarity by giving us a simple story with a clear villain and a clear cause. And understanding a cause for something can help us understand how to address it, which contributes to our sense of control. Conspiracy theories can also make people feel special or unique, like they have access to some hidden information that nobody else does. Lastly, they can provide us with a sense of group belonging with other like minded individuals, depending on the concept. For example, a conspiracy theory centered around vaccinations. People who are anti vaxxers can find validation, acceptance, identity, and group belonging around other like minded individuals who believe in the same narrative. Culturally and socially, conspiracy theories grow when trust in institutions like the government, media, science, and experts is low. When people feel their society is unfair, corrupt, or hiding information, they are more likely to believe alternative explanations. In today's society, our political climate and the rise of AI has us all more untrusting than ever before. We have no idea what to believe anymore when everybody is claiming that everything is fake news, or not being able to tell if a piece of information or media was real or made with AI, or if information was coming from a credible source. Not to mention, Americans and Westerners in general live in what is referred to as an individualistic type society. With the average American, it is I before we. Living in an individualistic society can make people more likely to believe conspiracy theories because these cultures encourage people to rely on themselves rather than on institutions or communities. When people feel they must figure things out on their own, they may become more suspicious of authority, experts, and the government. Individualistic cultures also place a lot of value on personal freedom, so when people feel that freedom is threatened, they may turn to conspiracy explanations. Overall, the emphasis on independence, self reliance, and distrust of outside control can create a mindset where conspiracy theories feel more believable. We should also mention freedom of speech. Our First Amendment in the United States Constitution guarantees an almost total freedom of speech, allowing every individual the right to express and promote any idea, even the most extreme or unlikely. Social media and the internet can worsen things by giving every opinion equal visibility so misinformation spreads as easily as facts. Not to mention, not only are most of us on social media and the internet daily, but the majority of us would probably admit that we're addicted to it and spend way too much time on it each day doom scrolling. Social media is literally designed to keep us engaged and connected on the apps as long as possible. Unfortunately, social media algorithms tend to push dramatic, emotional, or fear based content, which makes conspiracy theories spread faster. I have also noticed an uptick in content where people are positioning themselves as experts on things they are clearly not qualified to speak about. And they say things with such confidence that it really does come across as believable even to the best of critical thinkers. At this point, truth and facts are submerged in a sea of information, and people have no idea what to believe anymore and usually just latch onto the first piece of information they stumble upon, or one that confirms their existing biases, which equals a psychological phenomenon called confirmation bias. Interestingly, research has discovered that how people have used social media matters. Passive scrolling increases exposure to misinformation, but active engagement, such as commenting or discussing ideas, can actually rebuild some trust by promoting critical thinking and social connection. However, algorithmic echo chambers, like I just mentioned, still trap users in spaces that reinforce existing biases, which strengthens belief in conspiracies and makes people feel like outsiders are the ones who know the real truth. Religion can both discourage and encourage conspiracy beliefs, depending on the context. Some religious beliefs already involve concepts like hidden battles between good and evil, supernatural forces, or moral struggles. These can sometimes make conspiracy narratives feel familiar. Pulling a quote from one of my research articles for this study, which was by the Renard study in particular, states, religion often favors faith over reason, logic, and science, and can lead to distrust of experts in these domains. For example, with the anti vaccination conspiracy movement, religion can influence people to reject science and medicine and rely solely on prayer and God's healing. But religion can also serve as a source of community and trust, which may reduce the need for conspiracy explanations. So its impact depends on how religion is practiced, whether it increases trust in meaning or suspicion of outsiders. Here are some examples of modern day American conspiracy theories, as in conspiracy theories we are actively hearing about in recent news. You can pause the video to read. So here's a quote from one of my research articles that I pulled for this project is when people stop trusting institutions, they also stop trusting each other. This lack of trust leads to more division, prejudice, and even political conflict. Some other societal impacts that this can cause includes societal division, such as liberals versus Republicans, political unrest, political participation, as in not voting, decreased willingness to reduce carbon footprint, rejection of life-saving medical care, overall distrust in experts, institutions, and science, and in extreme scenarios, willingness to create hate crimes. Here are some other interesting findings that I pulled from my research articles. Is the younger the person is, the more likely he or she is to believe in conspiracy theories. Leaders of conspiracy theory movements are almost always men. There is a strong correlation between belief in conspiracy theories and extremist political positions, whether on the far right or far left. And there is a parallel between belief in conspiracy theories and adherence to superstition. In conclusion, belief in conspiracy theories comes from both ancient evolutionary instincts and modern social influences. Our brains evolved to detect danger and find meaning. But in today's complex world, the same wiring can mislead us. When uncertainty and mistrust combine, people are more likely to see hidden plots where none exist. Understanding the evolutionary and psychological roots of conspiracy thinking helps us recognize our own cognitive biases and build resilience against misinformation. Ultimately, this awareness is key to restoring social trust and promoting critical thinking. So, the question I will leave you with today is what responsibility do we have as individuals in stopping the spread of misinformation and promoting the importance of critical thinking? Here are my references for my study. Thank you for watching.